Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I have my device right here. I want to make sure that the audio is on. I hope I could figure this out. Yes, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is January 2, 2022. Yes. Happy New Year. I hope all went well with you yesterday. I hope you guys could hear me. Um, I'm not sure how to do this. I have to try to figure out. Um, if the audio is on. I have my mic, but the last time I used it, there was interference. It is plugged in all the way. Okay, I can see myself now. Yeah. So I hope you guys are going well. I'm trying to figure out how to look up my video to make sure the audio is on. I'm sorry, it's taking me. I just don't want it to, I don't want to begin and it's acting up. Let's see, your movies, no, not that, your videos. Let's see here. I can never really tell. I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta figure out how this works. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this looks so rude. Oh, I wish I knew how to figure this out. Um, well, let me just go for it. I hope you guys could hear me. Yes, good morning, good morning. And what do I want to really talk about? What do I want to talk about today? Kind of, I guess, review my insights for this past year, 2021. And I learned something just a moment ago, and I think it really ties it in. I basically wrote three things in the description. I want to talk about religion, I want to talk about last year, and um, but truth is, you find your truth within. And I just had to go into the other room. I had to clean up after my little dogs. And I learned something after cleaning up uh, when he had to take care of business. You know, we need to learn how to read the signs. And I'm hoping, and maybe what's happening now in the world is really to prepare us to read the signs, read in between the lines. Some things may not have to be so blunt, like a dog scratching at a door, has to go potty. Things could be um, gentler. It could be maybe a little whimper, just a little something. And you have to be sensitive enough to be able to read the signs, what it means. What does it mean? Because if you don't get the clues, you could lose the message. And I got his message, all right, my little boy. Yeah, oh, these little guys here, these are my little dolls. This is my little girl. Her name is Violet. I got her like 12 and a half years ago. And it's my little boy. It's a Beanie Baby. You remember the Beanie Babies? Yeah, my little boy. I had a little girl too. I gave the little girl away oh, in 2020, no, 2021. Yeah, she was 10 years, going on 10. So I gave her the little girl. I didn't have anything else. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Let me know real quick. Could you hear the audio? I have the mic on, and I made sure I pushed it in real tight in the device because the last time I used it, there was some interference. It may not have been put in properly. So if you could just give me a real, uh, a quickie, type of one for that you can hear. Yeah, let me know. I need to know before I really begin. Yeah, I have my phone here, my iPhone, and I don't know how to find my videos that are like when you're doing a live stream, how to actually go into the to watch it. That I don't know how to do. Yeah, so let me know. Yeah, I really need your help there. It's my, could you hear the audio? Yes, um, viewer, let me know. Just type of, okay, wait. Hey, Sydney, yes. Oh, good, good, yay. Yeah, good morning, Sophia. Yes, so you just working, okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, because I can't stand, the last time I was on, the first 8 minutes, you couldn't hear a damn thing. You couldn't hear anything. Oops, I shouldn't have said that word. Yeah, thank you, Sophia. Yes, happy New Year and all that good stuff. Yeah, so now could really begin. Yeah, so we're at the 6 minute marker. Yeah, so what I want to talk about, yeah, what I was talking about, Sophia, um, to read the signs, like what I want this video to be about for the New Year's. I didn't do a video yesterday, but I still want to talk about it in reflection of 2021, that year, and now. And as I was saying, that I just came to a revelation about something. It's about reading the signs. And sometimes we could be so distracted, like myself. Sometimes I could get really distracted. You could not, you're not paying attention. And someone could be giving you a sign about something, a warning, or just a message. Are you sensitive enough to read the signs? And so what I gather, well, I was saying my little dog, uh, my little boy dog, now, I had the door open in my room. This is my bedroom where I'm in. And I had to get something in the other room. And then he had gone out. And then he comes back in the room, and I kind of close the door, but not all the way. And then he wants to like go out again. So I said, okay, because he started like whimpering a lot, a little bit. And he did it like twice. And I didn't really want to listen. Because my reasoning was, well, I was just over in the outside, and he could have done what he needed to do. And then I just closed the door, but not all the way. And he couldn't get out. It was maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes after I had gone out, out to the other room. And then he wants to go out. So I was sensitive enough to his needs. I said, well, I don't know why, this is happening again, but let me just open the door for him. He wants to go out, let him go out into the other room. Yeah, he had to go potty. And I'm glad that I checked. Yeah, he really had to go. That's all I can say, right? To be tactful this beautiful uh, January 2022. So I had to clean up after him. And the insight came to me what things could look like. And everything could be copacetic, and things can change that quickly. And you might try to reason for yourself, well, I did X, Y, and Z, and I did this in preparation, blah, blah, blah. Well, things change and could change overnight. So it's not that you were wrong before, but situations change, and you have to change with it. And so if I didn't change and get out of my bed here and just investigate, just make sure what was going on after he had to come back in, um, I have a big mess in that other room. My dogs are trained to go like potty in the bathroom. Okay, that's how I set it up. Because I knew me as a new dog owner. Well, I had my dogs now, my oldest dog for 12 years, almost going on 12 years. On the 15th, yeah, I think the 15th or the 16th this month would be 12, no, wait. The end of this month would be 12 years since I brought Lily home. Yeah, Lily the Havanese. So you have to be sensitive. So it just got me thinking. Because see, I was setting up my YouTube, for this live stream, and I wrote down in the description certain things I want to talk about, just the year in general. And then my little boy going to the bathroom really spoke to me about what we do. And I think for this year and every year following, we have to be able to read the clues. They could be very blunt, sometimes blunt, and sometimes very subtle. And in this case, this year might be a year of subtleties. And we have to be sensitive enough to maybe get out of bed to investigate certain things and look at the signs that are around you. They speak to you every day. So, with that as an insight in starting this live stream, let's see. Well, I actually will also, I started this live stream based on this video that I was watching. I was watching a biography on this televangelist. Yeah, many of you know, some of you know that I used to be a Christian. I was a Christian most of my adult life. I was introduced to Christianity maybe 21 years old. And one thing up front is that religion does not really change you. You are who you are. I never changed. My personality and all that was always the same, but religion made me more cut and dry about what I do. I don't want to say robotic, but religion, Christianity is about the do's and the don'ts in my experience of the religion. But it doesn't really change your character. You are who you are. I am the same. The only difference now, like I no longer follow Christianity, but I do believe in about how we treat one another, to love one another. I think, all those basic foundations. That's all this, sure, I believe that. Your basic character is who you are. And this televangelist, it was on HBO. I bought HBO just a couple of days ago. And I bought it in order to see the movie, The Matrix, the new Matrix movie, Resurrections. And so I still have it. And I'll probably, towards the end of the cycle, cancel it. I only got it to see that movie. So I was just, perusing around the, HBO channel, and I came across the movie, and the movie's on. Her name is what's her name? Oh God, how can I forget her name? Tammy Faye Baker. Tammy Faye, and she was a very popular televangelist. And during the time, like, I didn't follow the ministry per se, but I used to follow the ministry of the people they helped set up, start up. They were a white couple. Tammy Faye was a televangelist. She's a white female. She's actually from the North, but I thought she was from the South. Maybe her husband was from the South. Maybe that's why I thought that she was. But she was from Minnesota. And she was a poor girl. She grew up poor in a religious community. And it got me thinking. Now, Tammy Faye Baker, what characterized Tammy Faye Baker? Baker is her married name. She was married to Jim Baker. Very charismatic. They were like Pentecostal, charismatic type of ministry they had, and they focused on the blessings of God. And they made a lot of money off of collecting money from their television. They were very theatric. They sang and they would get guests on their show. Their ministry really took off. Um, and Tammy Faye, she was a woman that wore a lot of makeup, almost theatrical, the makeup, heavy, heavy makeup. And you could Google her uh, and see what she looked like. Extreme heavy makeup. And the people that they helped start out, the lady in that other ministry, TBN, they helped start TBN. What's that? TBN. And the woman on that channel, religious channel, she also wore heavy, heavy makeup and the big, big, big hair. Um, well, something happened to Tammy Faye. Um, the ministry came down. There was scandals, sex scandals regarding the husband. But it got me thinking about how we watch things. They had a television thing, and of course it's on probably, was it on the internet? I'm not sure whether it was on the internet, but television they were on. And now that with the internet now as we know it, there are new televangelists, or now they come on the internet. Uh, we what's that now? We believe people. We believe what people tell you. We get distracted with the makeup, the theatrics, what you may see on the internet. And we have to be discerning. Now, I think the wife was legit, but behind the scenes, the husband, got caught up in the making of the money. He started to neglect his wife, intimacies. And when that happened, she had an indiscretion. She did not go all the way, but still, there was touching. And the husband found out, and she had to publicly announce what happened. And and it was her husband. The husband said, you have to come in front of national television and tell the people what you did. And what she did, she was pregnant at the time. She was like full term pregnant at the time, and this touching happened with her. And yes, she went on national television and shared her sins with people. I think she was discreet about it, but she had to tell her business. And this made them a lot of money also. Everybody started calling up because they felt sorry for her. But why I mention this is that, again, I'm not here to slam her. I actually feel for Tammy Faye. I think she got a raw deal overall with her ministry. But what happened after that? What you learn in the movie, that the husband had a very big fling with a woman and allegedly another man. And he claimed that he started it because when the wife had a slight indiscretion, the guy that worked for them said, "Hey, you could get revenge and do this to her." So that's what he did, and he tells his wife. Towards the end of the movie, he confessed to his wife. But look what happened. He did not go in front of the the television and expose everything and all that. But the scandal, he had paid the lady off, but she went anyway to the news people and the Christian community, the Christian leaders of that day. This happened, the scandal happened with him, Jim Baker, around 1986, around that time. And yeah, he tried to pay her off, but it leaked, and the religious leaders deceived them. You had another extremely big televangelist. I forget his name. Something to Jimmy Farwell. It could have been Jimmy Farwell. And he had said, write down, we want to handle this quietly, and just write down. Because he deceived them and said, we want to handle this quietly. Just, we have you work behind the scenes, take some months off. When it all blows over, you come back. But, I'll work on your behalf, on your television program, and we'll take care of you. And we'll pay your salary and all that behind the scenes. Just write down on this piece of paper, what your living expenses are, and we'll supply that. Guess what happened? Now they show Farwell telling this to the couple, and so they believed him, and they write on the paper. It was like on a card. And the card had her face on, looked like a greeting card, and wrote inside what she needs to maintain her living. So this religious man, Jimmy Farwell, takes the handwritten data about their salaries and all this and that, and goes on national TV and says, "Oh, see, they're not repentant. They're doing this and that." And look, they're braising, and they're telling us how much they need and this and that. And that's not, it was distorted. So why do I share this? That you can have people who claim to be a member, but they're not real members. They may even be up there. They might be big YouTubers, real popular. But many of them could be just wolves in sheep's clothing, and could actually come to you behind the scenes and ask you to do certain things in confidence, and you believe them, and they come out anyway with the note, handwritten, because they asked you to write a note. We handled it behind the scenes. Yeah. I didn't know about that part of this story until I saw the movie. Religion. I used to be a part of a religious group, of a religion, mainstream Christianity. I went to Pentecostal and Protestant churches. And for me, it was... it didn't really allow me to really think. It did the thinking for me. And I'm a type of person that in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking about something. And life continues to happen. See, religion for me gave me a false sense of security. That if I stay in this religion, I'll be protected, and somehow, God would save me. I said, so if you feel that somebody else is going to kick in, you don't really work hard. You kind of slack a little bit. So I think in that aspect, it was not good for me. And life kept on going on. And for me, part of the reason why I walked away from the church, initially I walked away from the religion, but not the concept of God. I was still a Christian, but I didn't go, I had stopped going to church. And then eventually, I started really observing my surroundings, and it didn't make sense to me anymore that, see, religion is one thing and life is something else. And religion wasn't dealing with things such as racism, sexism. And I said, how could I be a part of this if they themselves don't really address the issue of the social stresses that I was going through, that many people go through? It did not change the character of people. And I'm thinking about a woman that I knew when I lived in Hawaii. I worked with her. And I thought she was a nice person. I just enjoyed talking to her over the phone. We had never met until she was to be my manager. She was just a fun-spirited person. But religion, even though she was married to this man who was starting his Christian ministry, she had a hatred. She was a person of color, and she hated black people. She hated anybody who was to remind her of her own black heritage. And so that happened to me. The last church I was fellowshipping in, and I went all the way. The last time I went to church, I went in all the way. I joined a ministry. I did crocheting in the ministry to make little hats and scarves for the homeless and for children. Yeah, I don't crochet anymore, but I did it as a little hobby, keep me busy. Um, the minister was actually okay, uh, but he's from a different background than myself, um, and I thought by keeping busy was going to resolve everything, issues that I had. No, b- getting busy just makes you busy, but it doesn't deal with the issue. And for me, identity was the issue, identity, to discover who I am. Religion never really touched on my developing a sense of identity. It just gave a false identity that I was part of a religion and that one day God was going to take me away. I think, see, I'm not here to trash Christianity. That's not my point here. But just to awaken, you can be a member of any religion, any man made religion. Religion is religion. Religion, I feel, is to manage others or to enslave others in some severe situations. And but it didn't tell me who I was. And for me to have a pastor who was outside of my ethnicity, um, we live in different communities. He doesn't stop being who he is socially, and I don't stop being who I am socially. And I'm not here to bash any ethnic group or anything like that, but it it just didn't answer those questions. So you play religion, you go to church and act like everybody's one, but we go outside in the real world. We may have to go to work. We may have to go food shopping. Go to the post office. You deal with human beings, with their issues, and they can have various religions out there. But I felt that religion didn't address social issues and how to navigate in them. And so I stopped going and I started searching. I think the first thing I did, I remember I went to the museum. I went to the Museum of Natural History. And I purposely went there to see I remember they had something with human beings. And they have those skeletons and stuff like that, the Neanderthals and all that. And they don't allow you to you cannot take pictures in there and then post them up on your channel. They tell you right off, you cannot do that. So he had took all these pictures, and then they said you cannot share it on social media. See, because they want to hide the truth about your identity. I was still a Christian at the time, but I just physically stopped going to church, and I went early in the year. This took place, my last day in church was, oh, the last week of 2013. The last Sunday of 2013 was my last time in church. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. And I went to the museum, and I saw all these artifacts of what looked like human beings with exotic features. And some of them was over 100,000 years old. I had to think, because the religion taught that the earth and people were only 6,000 years old. So that's a big discrepancy, 6,000 years old versus 100,000 years old and older. And I knew that it would have that information, but I just had to take a strong look and take pictures. See, I was newer on my channel also, and I was about awakening and trying to find out, what is my world? What is reality? And reality was telling me that I was being hoodwinked. We were all being hoodwinked. They're hiding. The people who are in charge of these institutions, see, they know, I think the higher ups know what is really true. Those people out there who have those museums and the artifacts, they don't show all the stuff that they have, people. They don't show all of it. They only show things that keep the narrative. What keeps the narrative? That we come from apes, right? And so they don't care about showing these skulls, Neanderthals, because it's, teaches the idea that we evolved. But when you really read the scripture, many years ago, about, over 30 years ago, I met this lady, and she introduced me to a particular Bible, the Dakes Bible, Dakes, Dakes Bible. Yeah, I have it right over there in my book. Yeah, the Dakes Bible. It's written in the King James. It's a King James Bible, but it's a study Bible that Dakes had put together. It has a lot of notes in it. And she shared me something in Genesis about this word was, the word that's in the beginning was it, that's something, they use the word was. Oh God, how'd it go? And the word was with God, and something like that. But either way, that I have what do you call it, a concordance. Oh no, interlinear Bible. An interlinear Bible is, it takes every word in the Bible and has it's numbered, and that number has what the original word was. So you can actually do word study. You know what every word in that Bible is and what is the original language. Like, I'm reading the English. So what was the Hebrew word if it's the Old Testament? And it's controversy whether they put down the word was, but it should have said became. Something that was and something that became. Became means it's a transition, that it was from one state to another. And when this woman told me that, that's what really open up doors for me. And I did eventually buy that Bible. It's an expensive Bible. It was like, yeah, it was expensive. But I wanted it. And I remember when she introduced me to that Bible over 30 years ago. Um, and I bought the Bible 20 years, not 20, 18 plus years ago I bought it. But yeah, sometimes people, and people who you might have fallen out from, can even give you tidbits of the truth. Yeah, that was the first time I ever heard something like that. That some, that putting doubt in the word, putting doubt in, changing your paradigm system about what you read. See, when they give you these Bibles or religion, you are receiving that religion through the filter of. Sorry about that. See, it was glitchy. See, they don't really want you. They don't really want you to hear this. Get my little babies, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's designed to entrap you, not entrap, but to keep your mind from straying away from the doctrines of control. The doctrines of control. Um, they want you to see it as, okay, I'm reading the Bible, but this really means, we evolved from monkeys, and at the same time, even though those monkeys, they show that it's over 200,000 years old, but that's okay, because the Earth only, came about 6,000 years ago. But when you really read it, that Dake's Bible, and in his footnotes, that word that he circled, written as was, should have said became. And that's really what really, it. If you don't read it closely, you're gonna read it through the filter. I bet now I haven't picked up a Bible in since 20. I think since 20, maybe 2016. Yeah, I had officially renounced the Bible. I should say religion. It could have been around 2016. It could have been because see, I didn't stop being a Christian, but I was searching, and then I said, this isn't for me. This isn't what I thought it was, the religion. That because I started. It's I started to see the holes in the religion, what was scripture, what reality was telling me. And I had to be sensitive enough. See that again, the same theme like with the doggy. You have to be sensitive enough to read the signs. And if you don't, you just you're what they call cognitive dissonance, meaning that you're seeing it with your very eyes. This is happening, but it's like you say, so what? That's not really true. You make excuses and you accept the distortion. Yeah, this is about, I think, this whole year, like a cognitive dissonance also with this pandemic. Now, it was 2020 when this mess all started. And this mess, yeah, I initially, like many of you, I had my computer, and they started sending information from China. And you saw people convulsing, all this theatrics, people being welded in their own home. But if you actually look at the data, this YouTuber that I watch, and there's a database from the CDC, and there's another database that he helped develop. It's a map database. It takes the world map, it divides it in countries, cities, states, and all that, And you can enter data, in this case, health data status, on population groups. How many people are living in the country, how many people died from X, Y, and Z. And then you can gather this data, and you can see it. And they're not showing you this database on the news. The people on the news, they're not sharing you, they're showing you the narrative about something being bad and dangerous and spooky. And I'm learning that the news are not there. I used to think the television news were the truth and that they're honest people. But when they're reading those papers, it's a script. And I'm not just saying flippantly, it's a script. It literally is a script. Did you know that even news people, TV news anchors, that they can get Emmy Awards? Not Emmy, I'm sorry. Yeah, Emmy. I think it's Emmy. Yeah, it's daytime TV. They can get an award because they actually are acting. And it was years ago. I know of someone who worked inside a news station. They did the technical work there, repairs. And when they were off the set, when they were near the set, and you saw that what they're reading. And he saw that when they give a little joke or something, that's on the paper. Everything you see on the news, and this was many years ago, that they were telling me this, it's a script that they read. And now you see now how they act. They're not, at least the news I don't have a TV, but the news I get is on the internet. And I notice now they're just not even trying to be professional. They just slam each other. They're not doing the investigative work. They're teaching a narrative, and they teach a narrative about this particular thing that's been developing for the past 2 years now. If they're really news outlets, how come they're not investigating this database from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC? They collect data that they receive from, let's say, the coroner's report. When someone passes, the coroner of that city has to determine cause of their departure. But what the hospital puts down on paper may be different. The hospital's putting down things that will enhance their marketability. They're making money. They put down a diagnosis so that they can bring in the insurance money to pay for the person. That's what's happening. And then you have the coroner. And that information from the coroner is collected by the CDC. And then a database is collected. And this particular YouTuber gathers, anyone can look at the data. He also knows how to make a spreadsheet. So he can download the data and then make I know I said spreadsheet, I meant to say he could take the spreadsheet and then with that data on the spreadsheet, do what they call a pie chart or a bar chart with statistics, when you see graphically what the data represents. Is it a trend going up? Is it going down? If it's in cycles, that's what those things can do. And it can show you visually what the numbers represent. And that's what he did. And he noticed that some countries, there were no deaths from that particular pathogen. So how is that? So why wouldn't the news talk about those people, those countries that don't have any deaths from that particular pathogen? Why they're hiding it? So this is like an age of, you know, I used to believe. I believed a lot of stuff. And I used to believe in the news people. They want everybody to believe certain things. But you have to start reading in between the lines, to read the signs of the times. That and they speak with authority, right? They wear a nice suit or a nice dress. You notice now the people on TV, they wear more makeup and they're looking younger and younger. You notice that it's to get your attention. It's not about telling you more truth. They want you to watch them, and they're showing you what you want to see. They know to look at a pretty lady, to have all the graphics in the background. It hypnotizes you. It does. It hypnotizes you, and it makes you not think, and you receive all their data without a filter. And then they notice they start arguing with each other rather than just being an investigative reporter. The news that they read, they do not personally gather. So how could you call yourself a reporter? Why do they give them so much money? Because they're actors and actresses. That's who they are. They're not about truth. They are actors and actresses. And now you see that they're getting all into politics now. And they actually have yelling matches between them. You know, when they have a guest or something, they start to argue. Totally unprofessional. But that's what the news is like now. The news is not news, it's part of the propaganda. And now with this phase, it seems to be a phase happening. Hey, my little girl, come here. Come here. My little dog. Oh, you want to be on camera? Come here. Come here. Let me show you. Come on, get on the camera. Come here. Come here. This is my little peanut. Yeah, this is little peanut. Isn't she sweet? Okay, I'll put you down on the ground. Okay, I know you want to get down. Okay. I had to get her in there. Yeah. Yeah, my baby. Yeah, my beanie. I love my little beanie boy. He's so sweet. Yeah. Yeah, she had to go. She had to go outside. Yeah, so I hope you guys could still hear me. Oh, my lips are getting dry again. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, let's get dry. So yeah, so this is an age of last year belief. We believed a lot of things, right? Yeah, I used to believe a lot of stuff, but in the back of my mind, thinking. And then someone introduced this thing to me. They called it the Age of Aquarius. I don't follow astrology, but she mentioned like the what do you call it? Age of Aquarius is approaching, and that the Age of Aquarius has to do with the age of knowing. So she has she did a book called The Age of I Know, and wow, interesting because see, I didn't know that the Age of Believe had to do with this current astrological, constellation that we're in. What was that? What was that? Pisces? Are we in Pisces now, or something like that? Yeah. But either whatever what age it is, it's belief. And this particular store that I go to is a popular store. Every Christmas season, they talk about the word believe, believe. So what is this believe? Believe what? They never tell you. I had no idea that is the age that we're in, of believing. What do we believe? We believe in religion. We believe in Santa Claus. We believe in all that. And we follow it, even though we know that there's no real Santa Claus, but we act like it is. You go all out. This store, they have all this things with Santa Claus. Yeah, why is this? Isn't this a type of religion, Santa Claus? It's like we all know it's fake, but we spend billions of dollars every Christmas on Christmas trees, the trimmings, the cards, the clothing, the toys, the trips, the dinners, on something that you're worshiping. You are giving all your energy over to a system, and you know it's not even true, but you want to do it for the kids. Why can't you just tell the kids the truth? It's about the season. And there was what's that? It's a change of the season. What's that? The sun sets its lowest on the 20, 23, 24, and 25. Something like three consecutive days the sun is the lowest in the sky. And it's like stand still, and then after that it starts to rise again. You know, that's what I'm told. So it's in celebration of that, those pre-Christian beliefs. So I'm all for, the to get connected to nature. I feel that whatever what sustains you, you should stay connected to it. And I think the more you get involved with your environment, again, the more connected, and the substance that you get from it. You get your food, you get your water, air. If you want to keep on cutting down trees, what about the oxygen they give to humanity? But now we are at an age of destroying the environment, and then they want you connected. See, they want you connected to the internet with a metaverse. You heard that with Facebook? Metaverse. They want you connected to a computer. They want you connected. They don't want you to know yourself. They don't want you to ask questions about who you are. Because you believe. We were in the age of believe. We believe this and that, what people told you. They showed you. They showed you what they wanted you to believe. But now this age of Aquarius / to know, the age of I know. Wow. What do I know? What do I really know? That there's a transitioning happen and they want to do it quickly. The system wants, they're in a rush mode. They're rushing to continue to scare you through these news outlets, and then they're only reading a script. Why can't these news reporters just get the data like this YouTuber that I know, who researches the data? And the only reason why he started doing this is because the database for the mapping system, he helped create. And he saw how they were misusing the map, this type of map system of collecting and expressing the data from it. So he started questioning it, and so he went to the CDC, collected the data, and did the math. And you're being deceived. Yes, people are dying, but they're withholding what it does. People are dying in front of you. You have young teenage boys at football, soccer, dying dead in the field because they took this medicine, so-called medicine. And it's like they want to try to get, the system wants to try to get as many people harmed to do this new, they want to create a new world where there's hardly anybody around. That's what I see. That's what the signs are saying. Why this urgency to take a medicine that is shown to do harm? This is part of cognitive dissonance. People are believing, the people are not thinking straight, and they're full of fear, and they haven't stopped. They're just going with emotion. They're going based on fear, not on logic. They stopped asking questions. That's why they're feeding you this information the way that they are, because you just take it in like a drug, and you're not thinking. And the more you take of their Kool-Aid, the more deceived you become. You have people who should know, and they don't care anymore. People who I know getting real aggressive with me. I was on the elevator, and she's from another country, and she's getting real hostile, start yelling at me to put the thing on my face. If you have one, and if that is protecting you, what do you care about what I'm doing? So even if, it was just this, what was that? 2 days ago, I think it was. I went in a store, and a grocery store, and I asked where something was, and she tells me, and she says, okay, she says, do you have the, and I said, and I was honest with her. I said, well, yes, I do have one, but I don't like wearing it because health issues. It lowers my blood oxygen, and it could cause a problem. She says, well, if you just got to get one or two things, just do it quickly. But the store says, you have. She was nice about it. She says, you have to. It's required. See, yeah, New York City, where I live, is cracking down on wearing this thing on your face, and that private industry, they're required for this to get the bug juice. I'll call it bug juice. They want you to take the bug juice. And why? They're such in a hurry. Did you know the more bug juice that is given, the more fatalities? And they were showing a regular world map of where all this intensities are happening. And you know where it seems to be happening most? In the Western world. I believe this is a takeover and to destroy Western civilization as we know it. And the so-called third world, they hardly have it. Places that don't get the bug juice have better health outcomes. Even though you see it. They show the map. Your doctor should say, hey, how come only these industrialized nations seem to have the worst outcomes? It's what they're doing. Oops, sorry. Hold on just for a sec. Gone. Could you hear me back? I had to get something or something. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, a recording just popped on as I was talking to you. I heard it in my ear. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I don't know whether that interference came on. Okay, we at the 61-minute marker. Yeah. S- Uh, Second time that happened. But okay, either way, even though when they do show you the truth, they don't explain what the truth is. They show the world map and where all these outbreaks are. Don't you ask what the other countries are doing? Those countries are doing well. There were countries that did not have any deaths from this pandemic. So how come there are countries, um, whole countries that don't have it, but the cities, like New York City, has more fatalities than a whole country. The city of New York. You got to start asking questions. Yeah, it is about knowing. The age of knowing. And you know what else I wanted to talk about? The other. I think it's all related. I some time ago I started saying to myself, yeah, I think in 2012 I started saying it. 2012, 2013, I had just finished school, and I was wanted to reach out to find other Black YouTubers, just to fellowship with on the internet. Well, it seems like all of a sudden that I'm now getting recommendations from YouTube for Black YouTubers. So all this time, trying to find Black YouTubers to watch uh, were very slim. But this past 2 weeks now, I'm inundated with all these recommendations of YouTubers, Black YouTubers. Why is this? See, the past 2 weeks, I had discovered these two women YouTubers, and they're different flavors, but I think it's really the same flavor. Um, their persona. One this is all about belief and then knowing. They want you to believe that there's something. And I'm not going to say who they are, but it's just what's coming to my mind. The theme, what they represent to me. One female YouTuber, she attracts a lot of traffic, visitors, other Black viewers. She speaks the vernacular of American Blacks, urban Blacks. Um, but what she says, how she identifies, what she discloses. So you see a Black woman, but she doesn't call herself that. Again, you could call you are who you are to you, but it's just something that I'm seeing a pattern that in the age of Black Lives Matter, that mantra that's going on, what's that, 2 years now, the Black Lives Matter uh, uh, motto. But I notice with mainstream Black YouTubers that I'm seeing now that's reaching out to urban Black Americans do not really represent you. They can speak the lingo. They can sound like they're from, the street, but what they really represent about the belief, what they want you to believe, the age of belief, not knowing. They want you to believe that they're just like you, that they're in the struggle, and about the man who's against you. But many of them are living secret lives, or they don't really want to be identified as a Black person. When this YouTuber is saying, she just volunteered about her ethnicity or race, whatever. She claims that on her mother's side, she's mixed with 4 different Native American Indian groups, and their father is from a one of the ancient Hebrews tribes. But yet she's catering to a black audience. Why isn't the new the YouTubers who are going out there to warn the black community, yet they don't use that they are black people? But they want to present themselves as such. And then you have the other extreme that, again, using the vernacular, street vernacular, but she is being used as a, like, yeah, I'm a urban black, but I'm a conservative. See, 2 different flavors. They want you to think, and they want to attract you to their channel by being so-called very urban black, being ghetto, or know the deal. But they do not really represent mainstream black America. But you might say, well, who are you, spiritually, to judge? I'm being myself. I've always about that. Okay, we're back on now. Sorry about that. See, they don't want you to get the information. Yeah. See, I don't do theatrics. I've gotten excited before, but basically, I'm the same person. I don't put all this makeup on my face. I don't have my hair all. What you see is what you get. I'm just like this, just relaxing, and I want to be real. And I feel it's more important for content to just say what's on my mind. And how do you say? It's really hard to explain. It's just a lot of deception out there. Many of the black YouTubers or popular people, like in the BLM organization, Black Lives Matter organization, again, they present themselves to be to represent the mainstream black community. Did you know if you go to their website, that it's heavily suggested that they are of the alphabet soup community? Excuse me. Now, you could be of any orientation, of consenting adults. That is your business, and that's not what this talk is about. To be anti, that's alphabets. I'm not about that. But that I have to ask myself again, cognitive dissonance. I don't want. If something is promoting not a man and woman and family, children, how could then they represent a community? A community is based on relationships between, what makes up a community? Families. Families interacting with families. But if you're never going to have a family because you're not in the, your type of relationships will never form a child. So aren't you indirectly like a death sentence? If you want everybody to be of that orientation, there's no reproduction, it doesn't grow. And that's the real issue here with cognitive dissonance and this, in my opinion, about what the organization will manifest into, that it is about, in my opinion, a death to society. A society dies if they don't reproduce. And I do not have children. I never married. But I'm talking about a movement that says we want to promote this type of lifestyle on the masses, and that we will reward you if you choose this lifestyle. We will reward you with jobs, certain positions. That's what I'm concerned about. So they want you to believe that they represent you, but behind the scene, how could they really represent you if this is what they're really about? How could you represent a community and most of the people are straight, are heterosexual? So I'm confused, but they're supposed to represent me. And did you know that the leaders in that organization are married to same gender and not of the same race? But the race that they're talking to you about are the race that they're sleeping with. People, you need to wake up. How could they represent you if who they're sleeping with? Again, it's their business who their love interest is. It's your business between consenting adults, their business. But how could you again represent me if you're arguing about the man, if you're sleeping with their women? Are they really representing you? Or are they doing that to gather your money? Did you know they use all that? They use a big part of that money to buy a house? That Caucasian woman got the house. If they get a divorce, whoever makes the most money would be able to get that, possibly the house if they're married. Could you believe that? How many people in the black community know that these leaders in these new black organizations, how many of them know that who they are living with? So how could you trust them? Because you believe. You're about believing, like many of us. And then you have to start digging. You start digging, asking questions. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense an organization that doesn't have any men in it. No, one man, one what do you call a beta male, very wimpy beta male. But yet the organization was said to have started because a young black boy got murdered. The what's his name? The young boy that died from what's his name? Zimmerman. George Zimmerman shot Trayvon Martin. That's what. Yeah, and he got off. He said self-defense. He got off, murdering somebody. So the incident happened. A family lost their child. So you're starting an organization to expose wickedness, but it's only women and one beta male. Why not families? That boy, Trayvon Martin, had a mother and a father. He lived with his parents and then he was sent to live with a relative. You have to start asking yourself questions about these people because deception and that they could be using you. So last year and prior, we all believed certain things about people on YouTube. We believed because they spoke your language. They were theatrical, some of them. They gave you what you wanted to see, and you became seduced by them. And now it's like, the past 2 weeks, again, I was introduced to these two YouTubers, black female YouTubers. And they're both kind of like, how do you say? They're different but the same. They want you to believe that they are about the black community. One is catering to urban blacks, and one is, yeah, the urban black, um, but I'm really, trying to expose the system to you. I don't know. It's just really, it's really getting me to think. I feel I'm being manipulated. That's why I'm sharing this. That now, like, since I started watching those two YouTubers in question, a whole deluge of videos of black female YouTubers and others, and some black men. And I feel it's like, what is happening to us? Some of the people I'm noticing, they might have started off okay, and then they start to lose it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, people. I don't know what's going on, but some of the people are starting to lose their mind. And again, I'm not going to give names, but this is a small community. The black YouTubers who, interested in the spirituality and what's going on in the world. Yeah, it's one YouTuber guy. It's like living on the street. Just seemed to be out of his mind. Another YouTuber, he started, an older man, had a thriving channel, and then he just started losing it for about a year. Scared me. And now he pulled all his content, and then he now started something new, and as if nothing happened. Like that was a secret, what was going on. Like he removed any evidence. It's acting like nothing happened. Another YouTuber just last month, just acting that they got activated, and they looked at it when they're out of their mind, and then she pulls her video also. So there's no evidence. Now they act as if nothing happened. So why I'm sharing this? See, anything could happen to any of us, and I even had someone comment to me, about the fear, and that, hey, where do we go from here? Where do I move to? Well, I don't know what to do. And they were commenting on that YouTuber who kind of lost it and then pulled her video. I thought the same thing. What he said, I was feeling, but I didn't want. And I realized at that point, hey, the truth is in you. I said, any of us could fail, and you have to look within yourself. I told him the answer's inside of you, and it's up to you to go within. That's what I told. I felt that was what he needed to hear, and what I needed to hear, because when I saw her losing it, you start to wonder, what's going on? What do I do? Because we do look up to people. We're all searching in some way. I'm no different than anybody, but I felt I needed to remind myself and that YouTuber that wrote to me, hey, you got to look within, the answer within yourself. If you could get the data, research the data for you, what would be the best? I don't know what I want to do for this year. I feel it, well, not that I feel, it's dangerous out there. And I did get attacked 5 weeks ago. A lot of drugs out there. And I don't want to be around it. But now with the world what it is today, what is my best? See, many years ago, I had, things were what it was many years ago. And I thought it was time for me to move. And I winded right back here. It's never going to be perfect in any location. Basically, my life is pretty good here. I mean, uh, economic stability. I have food, shelter. I mean, I have everything that I need. And maybe I just have to learn to trust the system. I mean, trust, if we really are connected to the Creator, maybe just, stay here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. And what works for one YouTuber or individual doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing. I don't want to tell people to do something that it's not for them to do. And so that's why I'm saying, the answer is in you. Do what's best for you. Don't do something because I'm doing something. Do what is personal. You can learn from anybody, but use a lot of discernment. And if it fits you, I could talk about shoes. Doesn't mean certain style shoes are best for you. Maybe a low heel is better for you than a higher heel. Maybe a sneaker is better for you than leather. You know what I'm saying? That each individual is unique, and maybe this is just all these things that we go through is really part of the school, the life school. The life school, you can learn from anybody. And I think now with YouTube, it's intensifying. People aren't communicating with themselves. I mean, we're behind a computer all day. And people don't want to talk to people face to face. And now with the covering that we have to wear, we don't trust each other now. Because we all have this mask on, and we don't feel comfortable now communicating. So we're at home, and so we do videos so you can see our face. But when we go outside in the street, you don't trust them because we got a mask on. Bandits wear masks. Sick people wear masks. So do you want to be around a bandit? Do you want to be around a sick person? No. And the system knows that. And so it's encouraging people to want to stay at home. And then all of a sudden now, the Facebook founder, I forget his name, Zuckerberg. Yeah, he now is presenting this metaverse. See that how they have something available for you? See that? You think it just popped in his mind, this metaverse? So he knows now that people want to stay at home because they're afraid. You don't think they put those weirdos outside in the street? They put in New York City 4,000 homeless people. It's not just homeless people, they're mental patients. That's who's out on the street in New York City. 4,000, the police officer told me. Why do they do that? So they could harass you. They can assault you. And then you want to stay at home, like myself. You want to stay at home because it's dangerous outside. And what are you going to do now that you're at home because all the weirdos are out there? Well, what happens is now we're going to present to you metaverse. You could create your own new world, right? You just get your virtual reality glasses. You don't even have to buy new clothes. Oh, we'll provide them in this metaverse. You can have any hairdo, clothing, house, and you can create a whole new world. And then you can maybe even opt out and say, hey, I want to permanently upload my mind to this computer so I don't have to go outside. I don't ever have to leave my world. Don't you see the trap people? So they want to, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, they want to cut down humanity to a small percentage of people, like the Georgia Guidestones. You remember the Georgia Guidestones? It's in Georgia, and the state of Georgia in the U.S. There are these big pillars, and it has writing on it, and it says to uh, keep humanity at 500 million total, the whole planet, just to have 500 million people. Well, the U.S. has over 300 million. So this is cutting massively the mass majority of people on the planet. They say it's almost 8 billion people, B as in boy, 8 billion people on this planet, close to that amount. And I believe that's what it's all about. They're presenting a new era. They killed off much of the older population, and now they're after your children. They're killing your children. You have a young, healthy teenager who's in sports, and he got the bug juice, and then he's dying on the field. All these things are happening. They're making it mandatory to get bug juice. They may make it mandatory worldwide. They make it mandatory in New York City. If you have a private company, they have to have the bug juice. So why do you have to have the mask? Because the mask is part of the demise. It's part of the programming to make people afraid. Remember, who wear masks? Bank robbers, remember that? Bank robbers and sick people. You don't want to be around a sick person, and you don't want to be thieved. Just creating that environment. But this is now what they call entering the age of, knowing. Start observing really your surroundings, what's going on, what people are trying to do. The YouTubers, why are they saying that they're about black people, but they don't want to identify they don't call themselves black? Even though they're genetic, they're probably like 80-something% or more. Why is that? Because maybe black lives don't really matter to them. They want you to believe that they are black person, or they identify, they're about you, but they do not. Start asking people how do they identify themselves? I mean, I'm not saying go into a complete stranger, but start listening to them. How do they identify themselves? Yeah. And when that lady identified them, again, you could be who you want to be. Be who you are, though. But just start to know. See, I didn't know what that, I just presumed. And then I had binged watched a lot of the videos, and then boom, she announces how she identifies herself. So why are we watching? Why are we watching her? Who are people living with? Some of these people are living with other, same gender, which is their business. But see, they don't want to come out as that. Who are they living with? Start asking questions. That's what you need to do, in my opinion. Ask questions about everything for your protection. I had once almost gave someone a lot of money on YouTube many years ago. And then they were forced to tell the truth about a situation that was contrary to what they were telling people all the time. And I did a video about it. This is maybe 7 years ago. Yeah, people can come up with a good story, and then you find out the truth. Yeah, people could say anything in order for you to give them your money. Feel it out. It's what you feel in your heart. If something serves you, serve it. Support it. That's what I'm saying. And some people, they might be upfront. Hey, they're about X, Y, and Z. If someone is upfront about something, then it's your choice how you want to support it or not. It's in your hands. It's when they don't tell you what they're really about. Yeah. So this 2022, um, it's going to be a trip, I think. I think I should really, brother, um, really listen to the cues, listen to the messages, to be receptive. I ask for being able to be um, discerning and being able to read the signs. That's what I ask for this year. To have enough common sense to be able to ask the right questions and to be able to say no when I need to. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, about belief versus knowing. Yeah, we need to get to know. Stop being in the know. Yeah, keep your exercise. Um, yeah, I was getting more food, things, provisions for my place, um, staples. Get your water, in case things are happening in your city. Um, Try to get provisions for yourself in case, to last you a couple of days or something like that. Um, yeah, everybody has their own space, You may not have a lot of room where you live, but I bought like 4 gallons of water, yeah, 4 gallons of water. Um, I got beans and rice, just things that could last a long time, that could, has a long shelf life. Um, yeah, try to get things like that, um, because you need water. You can only live without water for like 3 days. You can live without food for like a month or something, but get things essential. And bottled water, you could use the bottled water to bathe in. Yeah, and I got extra bags of dog food for my dogs, the kibble. Yeah, rather, because I used to get fresh, frozen meat for them. But what if the electricity is out and for a number of days? So you can get uh, dog food that doesn't require refrigeration. For those of you who have pets, get extra pet food, water for them. Um, if you need certain medicines, get them. The air is very dry. Maybe I purchased a couple of months ago humidifier. Get a humid. If the air where you live starts to get dry. See, when your nose, like when it gets really, the cold air dries out your skin. And what could happen that inside your nose, it gets very dry, and you can have nosebleeds. Um, the pathogen, that particular thing that's out in the air now, could get inside the cracked skin and you get an infection, you know. So try to keep the ear moist enough so your nasal passageways don't crack. What else? Yeah, try to eat foods that are good for your body, whatever what your needs are. We all have different health requirements, but I would say for the beginning of this year, to um, eat food. It's not how much to eat, but just make sure you get the right type of food for you for um, longevity. Yeah, and drink your water. Yeah. So I thank you all for listening. I know, boy, I've been on now for 97 minutes. It's approaching 7 o'clock. Yeah, I want to do my meditation. Yeah, what I've also been doing. Um, I have been doing it now. I started just before the New Year's Eve. Yeah, to do a formal meditation. I do mirror gazing, and that I do to as a way of getting to know who I am. How many times do we really look in the mirror? I mean, really look at ourselves and talk to ourselves. It's about going within. And it could be very revealing. Sometimes you see things like if you do it under candlelight in a dark room. Sometimes when you look at yourself, your face changes. Yes, it does. It can happen. It's called mirror gazing. But fear not. And when you see something that kind of scares, makes you, a little startled, say fear not to yourself and speak words of encouragement and love to break any spirit of fear among you. And have your journey going within. That's what I want to do. Yeah. Um, I you can only, talk to people so much, but you really have to do the work yourself to really go within. Any one of us can tell you about what you want to hear. But I'm saying, hey, why don't you, for you, to get to know yourself, don't be afraid of yourself. Go within yourself, and maybe you'll have a discovery. So, with that last note, I I thank you all for watching, and yeah, so I'm gonna get out of this bed and go in the next room and do my mirror gazing. And yeah, the sunrise is gonna pop up soon in a little over 20 minutes. Yeah. So thank you again. I thank you, YouTuber, who's watching this whole time. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for your encouragement by staying on board with me this January 2022. And may you be protected, and may you start being in the know and be aware of what's going on around you. Get to know you. Yes, yeah, yes. Get to know yourself. Nothing like loving you, loving yourself. When you love yourself, when those other people say bad things about you, you know, you say, I know myself and I love myself. Love yourself and love your neighbor. Yeah. Thank you, Sophia. It's always a pleasure seeing you on these live streams with me. Thank you for journeying with me. This is all a journey for all of us. We all are students. And when you learn something, teach it. Yeah. Thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. Happy 2022. See you. Bye bye.